Hello, everybody. Hi, I finally got this working. I tried so hard last night to get this up and running, and we finally have it. It was not working for me last night because I really wanted to get on and review this last night, but I couldn't get on. For some reason, I couldn't get on. Hello, Anna. Welcome. Now, this is going to be a very spoilery review of Detective Pikachu. So if you haven't seen it yet, if you're going to see it, or if you don't care, just warning you now, there's going to be plenty of spoilers in this review. And I just wanted to, get on and discuss it because I thought it was pretty fun. I thought it was a fun little Pokemon movie. We never really got a live action Pokemon when I was like a wee lad. So this is like a long time coming for a lot of Pokemon fans. This Detective Pikachu movie. I actually have my little Pikachu here. I have so many Pikachus. I'm a big Pokemon fan, and I was a big Pokemon fan growing up. I played all the games, and I had tons of merch. I still have like a lot of my old toys too. Look, there's like the chubby Pikachu. You're an OG, an original, when you still have the chubby Pikachu. So there's that. Anyway, about the movie. Months ago, whenever this trailer first premiered, I was a little hesitant, skeptical, as I think most people were. But many months later, I think people started warming up to the animation, the art style, and now I can live with it and I sit with it, and it feels very comfortable. It feels very normal. Even in the movie, a lot of the Pokemon feel very natural and fluid. There are some there's some times when the lighting isn't great, and there's there's just like tiny things that are off, but nothing really big that I'm going to complain about. Like it's not something that took me out of the movie completely. So the complaints are few and far between when it comes to the actual Pokemon and CGI itself. Overall, great. The looks of a lot of the Pokemon were really fantastic. Pikachu looked freaking adorable and cuddly, just as you'd want him to look. We have Charmander in there who looks freaking adorable. There's a scene with Bulbasaurs where they, again, spoilers. There's a scene where they're recovering after this massive Torterra farm emerges, and Pikachu's injured, and a whole little fleet. I don't know what a group of Bulbasaur is called. A Bulbaset? I don't know. But a fleet of Bulbasaur come and basically whisk this Pikachu away to get healed, ideally. And it's just there's a lot of just beautiful scenes like that where the sort of Bulbasaur are like, hey, I think they need help, so they like kind of lead them away to the big spoiler. But going back, I didn't know what to expect this movie plot-wise. It's very much written for kids to easily digest. I think that's something to keep in mind when watching this movie. There's plenty of stuff for people my age, people in their 20s and 30s that grew up with the original Pokemon, or maybe generation 2 or 3. That will definitely take stuff away from this and enjoy it. And there's a lot of subtle stuff happening in the background. There's like stuff happening in the bedroom. There's like posters everywhere that kind of hint towards certain things. There's a big plot. There's a big plot reveal, sort of. If you're paying attention, you could like miss it. But there's a now we're getting into deep spoiler territory. There's a part where they reference recapturing Mewtwo. Hello, Joshua. Just letting you know there's going to be some spoilers here. I don't know if you've seen the movie yet. I'm just warning everybody there are spoilers abound. So maybe watch this after you've seen the movie, or unless you don't care. Well, that's a different story. But there is a scene where it suggests that this film takes place 20 years after, or 25 years after Mewtwo originally escapes from Team Rocket, I'm guessing. And now this could either indicate that maybe they're just setting up their own universe. Maybe they're going to go back. Maybe this is a sequel to the Pokemon movie, the animated movie with Ash and Misty and all like the originals. Maybe this is a sequel to that. Maybe this is in the game universe, like the actual game canon. Unclear yet. I don't know if there's anything in the movie itself that maybe I didn't see. I've only seen it once. That hints that this is part of one universe for sure, not the other. There's no real hint of Ash, Misty, or Brock. The only Pikachu you really see is Detective Pikachu. I think there's maybe one or two others that you could catch, but he's really the only Pikachu you see. So this creates a very exciting prospect for possibly a future or a long line of Pokemon live action CG movies, which is very exciting because I think Detective Pikachu went really well. I think this is a litmus test for how well a Pokemon movie can do at the box office, how well it's received, whatnot. And from all I've seen, people are pretty, excited about it. It's getting decent scores. It's not going to be in the highest echelon film, but it was a fun movie. I think it was pretty faithful to Pokemon in general, just the Pokemon lore and the world. And the tone and the color, like it felt very much like this is Rhyme City. It's a town in the game, and it is. I mean, the Detective Pikachu game, but it felt very genuine and felt like yes, this is a town, and then it felt like a real town, but it also felt like, this is definitely, you could tell like this is a Pokemon town. There's just a certain quality to it, is what I'm trying to say. There's a Pokemon-esque quality to this town. And the areas they filmed in, which it kind of looks like Rhyme City kind of has Japan, Europe. I want to say almost like a Japan, like Paris kind of vibe to it, or maybe in England, like a London kind of vibe. There's like some kind of big, maybe even some New York in there, but it seems a little bit more Tokyo-ish, Japan-esque. But I would say there is some Parisian and, maybe New York vibe in there. It's an amalgamation of a bunch of big cities. But I think they did a good job of really showing off a lot of Pokemon through all generations, Pokemon that people love. There wasn't really any real... They didn't really show off any other legendaries. I mean, besides Mewtwo. There was sort of allusions to Articuno being in a battle, which is interesting. Like a televised or like a promoted event. Articuno versus, I don't remember who. It wasn't versus it wasn't against another legendary. It was just Articuno fighting somebody else. There was a poster on a wall. I thought that was kind of interesting that Articuno was just like fighting battles. I mean, I wonder if somebody like captured Articuno in this universe, and that's what that's about. Very interesting. There's a lot going on behind the scenes. So if you go see it again, if you haven't seen it yet, I would pay attention to a lot happening like behind the scenes, because there's a lot of subtle world building in this movie between like just what's happening in the city, the characters themselves, and then just like little things happening, in the background. A lot. There's a lot of like, great detail and in this movie that I definitely appreciate. Like there's some scenes, like there's a scene where they're at this news station and basically a Squirtle, spits some water on the floor and then just goes to mop it. So like Squirtle is a janitor, just cleaning stuff up. And there's also sort of, I guess, vague mention that there's the Squirtle Squad is like still active. You have the Growlithe with the police, which are very faithful to the cartoon and the games. They got a lot of stuff right. Just even subtle stuff, small stuff, they pretty much hit the nail on the head. And I'm very excited to see where this universe goes from here on out. I think it's very exciting. I mean, I'm almost 30. I started playing these games when I was 6 or 7, so it's been a very long time being invested in this world and these characters and the events that take place. And to see that they're still being sort of brought into the canon 20 years later, a real timeline, a real canon of 20, 25 years later. It's super interesting to me, and I'm really interested to see where this franchise, the film franchise, goes from here on out, because I think there's going to be more. I mean, they're working with Legendary. This was basically their soft test, but I think there's going to be more. There's already hints. I think there's going to be build up to Team Rocket. And I know there's like a little purple capsule, which is sort of the indicating like the sort of the plot device of the whole film. These little capsules, and they're basically, the whole film kind of revolves around what happens and how they got these. But on these capsules, there's like an R sketched in, which apparently also, I never played Detective Pikachu game, but apparently that's also in the game. But the R in the movie, they might play with the lore a little bit. Or the canon, the R in the movie kind of looks like the Team Rocket R. I mean, it's not red and, sans serif. There's like a little bit of a flair to it. It looks kind of like a legendary that legendary font they kind of use. But I'm thinking they're going to build to some sort of Team Rocket. Well, they already kind of are Team Rocket storyline, which is very exciting for them to sort of amplify if this is the plan, to amplify Team Rocket in this way and make them a very sort of in the dark, in the shadows kind of elite villain team. There was also a sort of a grunt or a lackey. They called her the doorman or the doorwoman, who had like pink hair, but didn't really speak. At first I thought that might be Jessie. Then they don't really give you a name, and it turns out to be a Ditto, just transformed into a human. But they don't really tell you that it's not Jessie. They don't really give you a name, so it would be interesting to, is that supposed to be Jessie? There's not really confirmation, yes or no, because Ditto's copying something from somewhere. It might be Jessie. Probably not, but it totally might be Jessie. But again, if it's 20 years later, I feel like maybe she would be a lot older, but then it's like, aren't they like 16 or 18 in the sort of original canon? I don't know. The timeline's a little bit mucky. I don't know where things are sitting in this new universe. Is it, in line with other games, like the game canon or the anime canon, or just the movie canon, since the movies seem to take place in their own sub-universe. Not that, multiverse, I guess, kind of exists in the Pokemon world, but we're not even going to touch on that. That's like a discussion for somebody who knows way more about the lore, past, present, and future of Pokemon. I'm very much sort of still stuck. My lore knowledge is still stuck around like Gen 3 or 4. I played Pokemon Moon. That's the last one I played. I'm planning on getting Sword or Shield when it comes out in a couple months, but my lore knowledge is kind of stuck in time a little bit, about 10 years ago, if not more. So I'm excited to see where they go with this with this new franchise series. I think they're probably going to be another one. It seems to be doing very well, so I'm very excited to see again where it goes from here on out. Will we see these characters again? Are we following these characters, through this series or franchise, whatever it's going to be? It's unclear what's coming down the pipeline. Now, again, big spoiler, but Ryan Reynolds is now like he's a person. He was in the Pikachu, and now he's outside of Pikachu, and he's a person living and breathing. So are we gonna go back in time and kind of deal with how he became a detective? Are we just gonna stay going forward? Unlimited possibilities right now, and I'm very excited. It's something a lot of us Pokemon fans from when we were watching the shows and playing the games originally, we kind of just dreamt and thought of what a live action Pokemon movie would look like, and we finally got it. And it subverted expectations in the best possible way, and I'm very happy with it. It was very cute and warm, and there was a childlike wonderment to it, and I was excited to see like Pidgey flying around. I got all giddy in the theater just seeing like a little Pidgey and Pidgeot and Pidgeotto just flying around like it was nothing, like they were just there. That it's like small things like that that just have such an impact, especially on us old people that were there in the beginning. It's gonna be weird talking about Pokemon when I'm like 40 or 50. It's like, can you give it a rest? It's like, no, back in my day we used to play without a backlight and stuff like that. So, yeah, that's all I'm gonna say on the matter. I'd like to talk about this more, and if you're ever curious, if you ever want to come on and discuss any subject on a future episode of anything, if there's a subject you'd like to discuss, please message me. I'd like to start having more people on to do more varied discussions rather than me just talking to the camera. So, again, thank you guys for watching. If you watched, hope you enjoyed the movie. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comments below. Did you like the movie? Did you not like? What did you like about it? Who was your first starter? Let me know in the comments, and subscribe if you're new to the channel and you want to see more of these videos. Thank you guys so much for watching. This has been a lot of fun. I'm glad Detective Pikachu did so well. Whoops. Here's Professor Pikachu. I saw him at New York Pokemon Center a couple years ago, and I had to get him. He just looks insane. Again, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you very soon. See you later.